Most retirees, either within Dayton or moving to Dayton, make the exact same assumptions every single time. And that's where their short list can come up wrong. They've made the wrong assumptions, and they haven't actually talked to somebody who's lived in the area for their entire life and knows the ins and outs of what the retired community living here in Dayton or moving to Dayton are really looking for and what's of value to them. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is David Moyer. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I've been a resident here in the Greater Dayton area for my entire life, nearly 47 years, and I've been in real estate for over 21 years. So the experience that I bring comes from real life experience and just not talking points. I hope you find this video of value, and if you're looking to retire in the area, whether you live here now or you're moving to the Greater Dayton area, let me know. I'm always happy to offer any sort of guidance I can every step of the way. What makes retiring here in the Greater Dayton area really appealing to so many people, even if this isn't where you're from originally, is the cost of living across the board, and also the ease of living. Everything that you need in terms of convenience, whether it be hospitals, doctors, grocery stores, nightlife, entertainment, theater, things like that are all within a really easy reach that you can get to easily by driving or a simple commute. Also, did you know here in Ohio that they don't actually tax your Social Security? That's something I think that's really important to consider as well. So there are a lot of benefits to living here. Ease of life is one of the biggest things that I think is really important about Dayton, having lived here my entire life. So if you're looking for something that's really easy to get to, this is going to be a great video for you to follow along with. One of the things that makes this such a great choice for retirees or anybody looking for a simpler lifestyle is that relocation actually is huge here in the Greater Dayton area. I've been selling real estate for 21 years, and a majority of my business comes from relocation clients, whether they're corporate relocation clients or they're military clients that are PCSing in and of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So that makes this area highly desirable and makes it a really good economic condition when you're moving to the area. Now, like I said before, regardless of where you live, if you're looking for ease of access to doctors, hospitals, things like that, you can live almost anywhere in the Greater Dayton area. You can live in Springboro, you can live in Centerville, you can live in Vandalia. There's the Kettering Health Network that accesses all of the Greater Dayton area with branches almost at every turn, as well as the Premier Health Group, which is Miami Valley Hospital. They actually cover every area north of Dayton all the way down to northern Cincinnati. So you have a lot of really good options when it comes to that. Also, if you're looking at entertainment in terms of theater or nightlife, not everybody moving here is looking for nightlife, and that's what makes Dayton so appealing, is that it does have that, but we don't focus on that. So if you're moving here for that sort of access, you can live in the suburbs and it's only a 10 to 15 minute drive if you want to see a major touring Broadway production, or if you're just looking for a night out and you want to get some local cinema or some local cuisine. We have dining districts downtown, but also every single city you live in is going to have their own dining districts as well that makes them so unique and so desirable. So essentially, when you're looking at the Greater Dayton area, I think it's important to talk about routines. And routines are a lot more than just flashy headlines or a list of top 10. Your average routine for me as a 47-year-old person is getting up in the morning, going to the gym, maybe going to the grocery store, running my errands, going to work. And I can do that regardless of where I'm at in the Greater Dayton area. If you live south of town, you have easy access to grocery stores at almost every single corner. You also have easy access to gyms and other facilities around every single corner. So you're never going to be really landlocked not having access to the things that you're accustomed to and the things that you want, especially as you retire. So I think that is important to make sure that your routine that you're comfortable with or the routine that you want is achievable. And if you're not really focused on where that is and you're not necessarily working with somebody who understands those needs and understands those routines, you can find yourself in an area that maybe isn't going to fulfill all of that. We do have those small areas here in Dayton that are not going to check all those boxes, but they can seem appealing on the outside without doing the research first. So it's really important to check those out and to make sure that you know exactly how easy it is to maintain your routine and have the lifestyle that you deserve. One of the first areas I think I want to talk about if you're considering retiring to the Greater Dayton area, or you live here currently and you're thinking, well, is where I'm at now where I want to be? And that is Centerville, Washington Township. This seems to be a really popular place for a lot of my clients that I work with, even those that are coming in from out of town that are exploring all of their options. What makes Centerville and Washington Township so unique and so great is that the ease of access, like I've said before, to everything is there. You can go almost no more than 5 minutes in either direction, depending on where you live in Centerville, and you're going to have access to those restaurants, to those grocery stores, those pharmacies, those hospitals, and those doctors. So you're going to have that routine that's going to be fit for you, that you don't necessarily have to go outside of Centerville to get anything else unless you're looking for something that is specifically downtown or in another suburb. What's also nice about this is Centerville has a ton of brick ranches and condos. It's actually one of the largest concentration of condos we have in the Greater Dayton areas, in Centerville and Washington Township. Makes it extremely appealing. I always tell my clients that call me up and say they want to live in Centerville and they're looking for a first floor, single level condo, that we really have to move quickly because those are so popular here in the area. One caveat though, if you're looking at Centerville or Washington Township as a place for you, you want to make sure you pay attention to those property taxes. Centerville schools have a great reputation, therefore the taxes are a little bit higher than they would be in other areas, so that's something to take into consideration if you're really focusing down on those monthly budgets and you want to make sure those monthly expenses aren't exceeding what your expectations are. So, like I said, I'm just being an open book here, but I think that Centerville is going to be a great fit for you if that's what you're seeking. The next area for a lot of retirees that I think is going to come as no surprise is Beaver Creek, Ohio. Beaver Creek is just northeast of Dayton, and this is where we find a lot of our military community. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is there, so it makes it a really sustainable community. People feel it has the suburban feel, but it also has a high concentration of the entertainment, shopping, dining, things of that nature. So once again, you can establish your routine in Beaver Creek without having to go outside for anything on a regular basis. Very similar to which we just talked about. And one thing I will say is a lot of my buyers that are relocating here and they are looking to retire, a lot of times they actually start in Beaver Creek. They may not end up there, but they actually start there because it does check all of those boxes. So it's definitely something to consider if you're coming to the area. And once again, Beaver Creek offers a lot of really well-established neighborhoods, but also a lot of new construction that makes ease of living and maintenance something that you don't necessarily have to worry about on the back end. So Beaver Creek may be a really great option for you as well. It's just up the street off of 35 and from downtown Dayton, so you can get anywhere within just a few minutes. Now I'm going to touch real quick on a neighborhood that a lot of people don't necessarily consider or know about, and that's Bellbrook. And you may see this also listed as Sugar Creek Township. That's the name of the school system, is Sugar Creek Local Schools. But Bellbrook is going to be the proper name for this area. This is just outside of Centerville. It's not going to be one of those that you're going to be able to walk somewhere where you're necessarily going to have the greatest ease of access, because it is a little bit more rural, but we're talking maybe another 5 or 10 minutes on that commute or on that daily routine drive that you may have. But this is a really great option. A lot of people that buy in Bellbrook are buying because they want that peace and quiet. They want a little bit more of the outside area. They don't necessarily want to be too close to all the action, and so they're choosing Bellbrook as their option. And Bellbrook is where a lot of people go when they plan to live and they plan to buy and stay in their homes long term. It's not unusual for me to come across somebody that's selling their home in Bellbrook that's been in that home for 10, 15, 20, even 35 years. And I think that says a lot for Bellbrook as a whole. And Bellbrook also is within Greene County. Taxes there are going to be a little bit easier for you, especially if you're comparing apples to oranges and you're looking right on the other side of Bellbrook or Sugar Creek Township. That's something to consider there as well, because the taxes are going to be quite different and you'll have to calculate that into your monthly payment. I see a lot of people actually that are younger that are moving from Centerville to Bellbrook if they don't have kids, because they're looking for those tax savings while they're going to live in their next home for the next 10, 15 years. The next one I'm going to talk about is Springboro, and Springboro is near and dear to my heart. That's actually where I grew up. That's where I graduated high school from many years ago. But Springboro is going to be a great place for people that are also looking to downsize, but they want to have a sense of community. They want a little bit of a quieter feel, but they still want access to a major so they can get to where they want to go, especially if they're commuting or they like ease of access on the weekends to Dayton or Cincinnati. Springboro is going to be a great choice for you. Springboro has a little bit of a lower tax structure because it is in Warren County versus Centerville that we talked about before in Montgomery County. You could have a little bit of a tax break living there in Springboro, even more so if you're looking on the outskirts of Springboro, which is called Clear Creek Township. They're going to be great homes that you can really spend the rest of your life in. A lot of residents that move to Springboro are downsizing, in fact. and they're moving into the more rural areas of Springboro so they can stay there for the next 15, 20, 25 years and have that quiet lifestyle with a small town feel, but only 2 or 3 minutes away from getting on Interstate 75 and going to Cincinnati or Dayton. So you still have all the convenience, your routine is still there, but you have a nice quiet village to call home at the end of the day. Now, this last city I'm going to talk about ever so briefly is really going to surprise a lot of you, especially if you're from Dayton or if you've been researching the area, and that is Tipp City. And Tipp City is a little bit further north of downtown Dayton. So now we're on the other side. We've been talking about the neighborhoods that are more south and to the east of Dayton, but now we're talking North Dayton, and that's Tipp City. What is great about Tipp City is it has its own small town downtown district. So if you're looking for that community, that charm, that personality in a neighborhood, it's really going to be where it's at. It's about a 15 to 20 minute drive north of downtown Dayton, and you can actually experience all that the city has to offer, the festivals, the small town feel, all while once again having that routine that's going to make life really easy. A little bit more laid back, a little bit more quiet, but once again, you can have all of that so your routine is based in Tipp City. And then if you ever do want to get out of the city and go to Dayton, go to Columbus or something like that, you're only, once again, a few moments away from a major interstate, so you can commute to those things on occasion. But Tipp City is going to be a great choice. Don't sleep on Tipp City. Check them out or let me know. I can get you some more information. So like I said, I've lived here my entire life, and I've been selling real estate for over 21 years. And the biggest mistake I think I see a lot of people make is that they're only doing their research online. They're finding all of these articles, or they're looking online and they're only looking at what's on the surface. They're not actually talking to somebody who grew up in the area, lives in the area, and knows it like the back of their hand. Plus, it's really easy to go down that rabbit hole and only look at prices and go, well, I'm going to live here versus here because of the pricing issue. You don't want to focus just on the price because you want to take into account that routine that we talked about, how the driving is, what sort of comfortable level you have with driving, whether it be for work, part-time work, if you're retiring and you want to know what your drive is going to be like to where your kids or maybe even your grandkids live. This is going to be something you want to take into an account, is the location and the amenities and not just the price. Because as I said, there's a lot more than just the price of a home. We've talked about the taxes, we've talked about the maintenance, we've talked about the insurance. So there are other things at play than just that. So don't make the mistake of just going online and reading about the neighborhoods or reading the Facebook pages. Talk to somebody, talk to a local, talk to a real estate agent that's been in the area their entire life that can really break this down for you and understand your needs and translate that into the perfect fit for you. So at the end of the day, there really isn't a perfect fit for everybody if you're retiring in Dayton or you're coming to Dayton and looking to retire. But there is a fit that's going to match your lifestyle and help you achieve those goals. So I would encourage you to really reach out. Let me know if you have any questions or if you're considering a move to the area, letting me know what those needs are, what your lifestyle is like, and how that can be translated here to the Greater Dayton area. And if you're a seller that's out there in one of these areas I just talked about, and you're thinking, well, this sounds really good, I'm actually going to be retiring or I'm being relocated somewhere else, and I want to really kind of maximize my home because I now know that this is a great place for people to retire, I would love to talk to you as well and make those connections. That's what I do. I connect people. I get them where they want to go. I help them achieve wealth through real estate. I also help them achieve their fullest life possible in their home. So once again, my name's David Moyer. And if you have not been to my channel before, make sure you like this video. And more importantly, you subscribe. I have different videos every single week. I talk about the inner workings of Dayton, all the niche neighborhoods that most people don't really talk about. And I talk about the lifestyle that you can have here in the Greater Dayton area and how I can help you.